survived 100 days trapped on a jungle island with no loot and enemies around every corner. I need to learn the ways of the jungle, create a ship to escape the island, or I perish like everyone else. First, I need to grab the strongest gear, find the jungle secrets, and survive for 100 days. Am I able to survive on this island, and how dangerous is it? Let's find out. I'm Desesko, and we're close to reaching 100k subscribers, so hit that subscribe button for 200 days. Day 1 begins and I appear to find myself an island. This isn't an ordinary island though, so I had to get myself out the water and started grabbing some resources. So we go collect some wood to make a crafting table and make a wooden pickaxe. Also, I played with some pandas since they're going to be the only friendly animals we're going to find. Yeah, this island is really dangerous. And it was becoming night, so I knew being outside was a no-no. Luckily, I found a lava pool which let me get some stone tools. Once I grabbed them, it was dark. Who knows what was out there? Like, what even is that? Thankfully, in this part of the jungle, it was just zombies, so I slayed them easily and went down and built myself a 5-star hotel so I can wait till the sun appears. Once it did, I had one objective: get off this island. I went and grabbed everything so I can make a boat and set sail. We grabbed some food too so we don't starve to death, and finally found some water. I then went and crafted a boat. It was time to get off this island, or so I thought.
Wait, no, stop.
Yeah, everything changed when I encountered the corrupted traveler. He knew the secrets of the jungle. Apparently I was not able to leave the island. If I even tried to, I would vanish.
Listen, if you want to leave, you need to take down the god of the jungle.
I wanted to get off this island, and this was my chance, but I stayed. Since we're staying, I went and grabbed some resources. I need to go build a home now. This jungle is so deadly. So I spent day 3 grabbing tons of resources as well as killing the wildlife on the island. We then begin our travels for a home. I had to build one in a matter of days, otherwise I would perish. Luckily, I found the perfect place to build my house. The area kind of makes me forget that I'm stranded on an island. So I spent the upcoming days building a starter home with the resources I had. It was nothing too special, but it did the job. I also thought our journey was going well, but I was far from right because while I was putting all my loot in the chest and trying to forget about my problems on day 10, I suddenly hear a loud thud out of nowhere, and then again. I was shocked and frightened. Was that the jungle god? Although it was dark, I went and looked outside. I wanted to make sure I could sleep without being crushed by what that was. I did eventually went outside. After that, I knew I needed to get ores, so I went and left my house and planned to start mining. Shortly after, I found a ravine close to me, and it had that bad boy, so I went down the ravine and noticed a creeper tried to sabotage me. It didn't do well because I jumped over and grabbed all the iron that I needed as well as coal. We also found a new ore called rhonium, so I went and tried smelting it until I noticed this massive black golem. He charged right towards me, so I went and ran. I went and blocked him as well and then smelted my iron. We then got some iron loot and went deeper into the caves. When I went in, I mined some weird purple ore, but I realized there's some deadly mobs inside here, and I underestimated them because they got me down low, but I was able to take them all down. While I was confident, I went deep into the cave to find more loot, but I got trapped by a reaper that was blocking my way. So I went and mined through the side until my old friend appeared again.
What are you doing? Leave, you're not ready for this.
Why would I leave this cave? I've already gone so far. I don't know what he was on about, but I continued mining through this cave so I could get some ores, and luckily I found some amethyst as well as this green emerald ore. But collecting ore came to an end when I noticed a boss name appeared called the Green Guardian at the top of my screen. He fires a shot and gets me down to half a heart, but I go heal to protect myself. While I was using my shield to avoid his green flames, I noticed he captured my friend the corrupted traveler.
Don't fight him! Just run!
I listened to what the traveler said because one mistake and I'm dead. I wanted to go back for him though, but I couldn't. I ran without looking back and left him behind. That wasn't the end. I needed to save the traveler, so I began smelting my ore so I can craft the strongest loot. With all the ores I collected, I went and made some limonite tools as well as iron armor. But we needed one more thing, a food source. So I went and gathered some wood and started decorating my house as well as adding a crop farm. And while I still have some time left on day 19, I went and placed some vines and leaves to make my house look more like it belongs in the jungle. Right after that, I grabbed everything we need to travel, such as equipping my iron armor and crafting a brand new sword called the Jade Sword. We then leave and begin to travel to find the Green Guardian. I thought everything would be fine, but oh, was I wrong. Once I started traveling, I looked everywhere to find this beast. I also found this broken down home with some loot that would have been great on day 1. Come on! But I was in luck, because shortly after, I found this jungle temple, and it wasn't any ordinary temple. It's the Green Guardian's base. It wasn't an easy fight though. It was protected by these futuristic creatures. They dealt a lot of damage to me, but I was able to take some of them down until it progressively got harder. I knew with my gear, I would be in shambles when I defeated them all, so my brilliant mind decided to mine underneath them to the temple. Eventually, when I had my opportunity, I ran in and went down the stairs and then entered the Guardian's lair. It's time to take you out, the Green Guardian. I used my shield to deflect all his ammunition. I managed to get close and take shots on him. I had to be careful though. One mistake and everything's over. And just like that, the Green Guardian launches me in the air and drops me to 2 hearts. I use my shield for as long as I can can and realized it was getting low. Luckily, I had some iron with me, so I crafted another shield and started attacking the Guardian again. I hit the Guardian again and again until my shield breaks and he lowers me to 3 hearts. I went and made a new shield though and came back stronger than ever. I keep hitting shots and shots as the Green Guardian, wanting revenge for the corrupted traveler until the point where he gets me to 1 heart. This could be the end, but the Guardian was low and I was never gonna give up. I start firing shots until my shield breaks. It's anyone's game now, but I eventually kill the Green Guardian and slay the beast. I didn't notice. Wait, is that you? The corrupted traveler. I realize he's still alive, so I go rescue him from his prison.
Wait, you saved me? Maybe I underestimated you. Go take the loot.
So I did. I obtained the Guardian's sword. This was just the beginning of our adventures. There's so much more to come. But now I needed to get home, so I went and grabbed more melons and wait, is that my house? It's on fire. I ran over as fast as I can and notice it's barely savable. I go and save my bed and my crafting table and decide to leave. Who would have done that? I had no idea, but we needed to find somewhere to stay. I was so tempted just to go leave, even if there's a small chance of surviving, but I knew I had to defeat the jungle god, so I grabbed resources and began my journey again until I eventually find some nice area. But I think the spear found it first, so I made sure to go fight it and took it down. I also noticed it had a kid. Where did your mum go? She just disappeared. I went and put the baby into a hole for now. What should we call him? While I thought of that, I had no time to waste, so I began designing my house into the ultimate jungle build. We weren't going to just survive 100 days, we were going to thrive, so I made sure to make it feel like home by adding even the crop farm. Once it was fully decorated, I went outside to look at my crops, and wait, is that the thuds again? What is that? Stay away. Huh? I was sick of hearing those thuds. I wanted to go find the corrupted traveler for answers, so I began traveling and I also get a pet parrot. So me and my good old friend Parrot looked for the traveler. We ended up finding deadly beasts in the jungle though. Like this tree started to chase me, so I had to back up. I go and use my bow to fire shots at them and then eventually take it down with my sword. The jungle was a scary place. I thought I wanted to find a traveler, but eventually, after ages of exploring, I found his base and it was beautiful. I immediately went inside to go talk to him. I needed to find more about this jungle god. Hey man, I've been hearing thuds. Do you know what this jungle god really is?
Okay, his name is the Jungle Abomination.
He cursed the island with all his minions. To defeat him, you need to find a red beacon. The traveler wanted me to go press the lever, so I did and went inside of his jail cell to find nothing at all. I went and told him, hey man, nothing's inside of there.
That's impossible. A deadly beast should be in there.
The traveler caught one of the beasts, but he escaped. The jungle abomination's minion Nameless was here to slay me. I started firing shots at them, but there's too many. The traveler told me it wasn't worth it. I need to escape.
Go, leave me, defeat the jungle god.
Traveler, no! I abandoned the traveler. Apparently, I'm the only one who can take down the jungle abomination. I ended up following his tunnels, which led me to a massive cave to be explored. It was a jackpot. I ended up finding multiple veins of diamonds and collecting them all. I also collected some new ores. I needed everything to defeat Nameless. We used the amethyst to make a pickaxe, as well as an axe, and then ventured deeper into the caves. I also found some more diamonds and started traveling more until I noticed a chest with some loot, but it also had this really cute creeper plushie. Right after, I opened the chest and noticed it had a diamond pickaxe and a nightmare helmet. Right after, I made some leggings and boots and noticed how strong we are. Funny enough, that's nothing compared to day 100. Once I grabbed everything I need, I left the caves and noticed that the whole base was completely destroyed. I went to see what happened and realized the traveler was dead with a sign that said find the village. I was outraged. I couldn't believe this happened and it was all my fault. I was sad while traveling home. I knew one thing though, and that was I need to take Nameless down. I need revenge for the traveler. So I began the next day by becoming as strong as I can. I crafted an enchantment table and go enchant all my armor, and then shortly after enchant my sword and tools. I started getting ready for battle. I went and grabbed all the wheat from my crop farm and started crafting bread as well as killing chickens so I can go make some feathers for arrows. Nameless was prepared too because the next day I noticed his minions were waiting outside my base, but I'm not letting this base get destroyed too, so I fired back and started attacking. I go and take a couple of the skeleton vanguards out until a skeletron attacks me which jumps super high, but that didn't stop me because I take the rest of the skeletons out and go to the back of my base and start fighting more. Another skeletron came towards me, so I went and started firing arrows at him and eventually slay him. Once I killed them, I go and take the rest of his minions out and eventually slay them all. Out of that, I actually got a skeleton spear, which was really useful, so I went and enchanted it. After taking Nameless's army out, I knew I was ready to attack him, so I began my day by traveling to find him. This was going to be a hard journey. It was me versus the jungle. I had gigantic ants fighting me, and even a wandering traveler on an elephant? It would for free die? What do you mean? I continued exploring though, and even went past the traveler's home. I find the secret jungle, don't worry. But for now, we need to take down Nameless. So after days and days of traveling through the wild, I eventually find his layers. I go down the floor one and start fighting the cherry blossom. I go and take him out instantly, but he dealt a lot of damage to me. There were deadly beasts down here, like whisperers and zombies. I was able to take them down quickly though. These ruins are massive with deadly beasts, like bone creepers. I was able to take them out and I continue exploring until I take a zombie down and open the chest to get some loot. After that, I keep exploring the ruins, hoping I don't encounter any more monsters. Funny enough, that's nothing compared to what's coming up, because once I go down this water, I eventually find a tunnel that leads to Nameless. I then go through the entrance, going through the front door, and realize he's asleep. I go up to him and decide to take the first attack, but Nameless was ready. I use my shields to deflect shots from him and get close. He was weak, but he summoned a mini beast and it was hard to get to him. I took more and more out, but they kept coming. I thought this could be the end, but eventually Nameless got low and I was able to take him down. I thought this was over. I thought I just killed Nameless, but I was wrong. I had to barricade myself because Nameless keeps summoning mobs, but what if I use that to my advantage? I go and fire a shot at him and then run outside so all the mobs would come out. I then build to the side and realized my plan worked like a charm. All those mobs started attacking Nameless and eventually slayed him. I defeated Nameless the Summoner. Since there's still tons of skeleton vanguards left, I went and hit all my shots and killed them all. Right after, I collected all the loot on the floor and realized Nameless dropped some good loot, such as a staff which let me fire shots. He also dropped this bow which will be super useful fighting the jungle abomination. So once I left Nameless's dungeon, I spent days and days traveling until I eventually reached home. Finally, I felt like I was at peace for once on this island, but suddenly out of nowhere, a message appears from Erebon. Who on earth is that? I guess we'll have to find out. But for now, I tested my new weapons and realized it's time to work on the base. So I start off by making a jungle wood wall and then create a massive jungle bridge going from tree to tree. I was turning my jungle cabin into the ultimate jungle base. I then finished the base off by making a gigantic glass cube, which is gonna be the chest room. I go and carve all the jungle wood just to make it a little lighter, and then eventually finished the jungle base. It looked amazing. I was so happy with the outcome. I wasn't happy for long though, because shortly after, text saying jungle raid appeared on my screen. Little did I know, hundreds of jungle zombies and leapers were outside my base, so I used my bow and sword to start firing shots at them. They weren't prepared for me. I knocked them back super far and eventually started shooting shots from the high ground. After taking dozens out, I went back down and killed the remaining ones. I used my nameless staff to go kill some of the leapers until there were no more. That raid must have been from the jungle god. So I started the next day by getting feathers for arrows. Also, the corrupted traveler really wanted me to find that village. They must have powerful loot there. So I start getting ready for a journey by collecting all the wheat that I have and bone mealing them so I can get bread. After that, I was ready to leave and began traveling across the jungle. These were very adventurous wilds, so I had to be careful. But after days of traveling, I found the jungle village. I began exploring and looking around. I was admired by the beauty of this village. It was like no other. It was so much more advanced. Like, what even is that thing? I just know it does stuff. Anyway, I ran over to some villagers and they started recognizing me. They realized I'm the guy who's been taking down all the jungle bosses. They start calling all the locals until I eventually found a villager that would take me to the jungle headquarters. Once I finally arrived, he said some jungle villagers will come out and help me shortly. Eventually, after going inside, I was led into a room with the leaders of the jungle civilization.
Are you sure we can trust him?
They eventually ended up trusting me though, and I took some of the best loot that they had in their chest, such as the noxious great blade and full nightmare armor. Right after, they wished me good luck and I decided to leave. It was my destiny to take the jungle abomination down. My journey begins to slay this beast. We grab melons, which has kind of been my diet so far, and start exploring the wilds. On the way, I end up saving animals that have been trapped by a traveler and encounter a gigantic arkback. I had to run away. I'm not dying yet. After traveling for days, I noticed a beacon in the sky, but not just one, two. Could this be the jungle abomination? I thought. Without hesitation, I jumped across the trees as fast as I can and then realized it's the jungle abomination's lair. I go down and see the deadly beast and start grabbing more melons because I love them. I then start building up and then realized there's some trouble first. I started fighting all the jungle abomination's minions that there are, including flying creepers and other deadly beasts. I go and use my staff to take the rest of them down, but it's not over yet because I go to the second floor which has tons of whisperers. I go and use my bow to go fire shots and start taking them down. Thankfully my sword was super strong, so I went and took all the whisperers down. Now all there was left was the arkback, and I hated these things, so I went up close and made a massive strike with the great blade. I then used the sunshine bow to go finish it off. Right after, I start following the stairs to get to the top. I go and take all the whisperers on the side. I'm defeating the jungle abomination. I go and take the last one down and realize he's right there. The jungle island led me to this. I start fighting the jungle abomination by shooting arrows at it, dealing small amounts of damage. Luckily, its minions came in to try save it. It was easy to take them out. I go and take a purple shroom that I found and started running up and dealing great damage to the jungle abomination. I had to be careful though, I could lose everything at any moment. I pull my bow out and start firing shots at the abomination, but his minions kept getting in the way, so I made sure to take them out with my staff. But then I noticed he's on the edge, so I kept hitting shots at him and realized that he fell down. Now I can use this to my advantage. I start firing shots from above and then go down and hit more, but his minions kept getting in the way, so I knocked them off. Now I'm down on the ground. He's only one more shot. I defeat the jungle abomination and save the jungle island. I go and take down the rest of the mobs, collect the loot and start traveling back. I go past tons of lands, going through the village, and then I eventually go past the traveler's house back to my home. Now all I need to do is get off this island. I go and make a ship and decide to set sail. That was a crazy 100 days, but not as crazy as when I survived 100 days as a pillager.